Welcome to C Squared, Reviews Beyond the Speed of Light. Hi and welcome to C Squared. I'm Christopher.
And I'm Carma.
And this time we're going to be reviewing the movie Synchronic. This is a new movie that you got a preview screener for.
I did. And I've gotten preview screeners for pretty crappy movies before. This is not one of them.
No, indeed not. You want to tell us about it?
Sure. The background is that there's been a new designer drug. And a bunch of people are trying it out. And they're dying in really bizarre ways. Like one person has had a sword through him. And another person has a snake bite from a snake that hasn't been in the area in a long time.
And she dies of the snake bite on the second floor of a hotel.
Yeah. And so this all takes place in Louisiana because this drug makes you move through time. So the main characters are two paramedics. One is played by Justin Benson, who you might know from Once Upon a Time. He played the huntsman. He also went on to be Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey, which I did not know because I did not see that film. Not my kind of film. But just so you know. And then the main lead is played by Anthony Mackie, who I personally only know him as Sam Wilson / the Falcon from the Marvel movies.
Yes.
And that role doesn't really give him a lot of leeway, but this film really showcased the range that he can do.
Yes. Yes. It's a fantastic showcase for Anthony Mackie, who, as she mentioned, was the Falcon in the MCU movies, who I always liked him in that part, but as you said, that part didn't allow him a whole lot to do. A little bit in the first Captain America movie he's in. I think it's Winter Soldier he's in.
Yeah.
And other than that, he's always just one of the crowd of 32 other superheroes hanging around.
Right.
But this one really shows his acting chops, and I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, his character plays an arc. See, at the beginning of the film, he's kind of a man with really no purpose. And he sleeps around, and he just doesn't take very good care of himself. But then...
if I can interject.
Yeah.
It's an interesting contrast that gets sharper as the movie goes on, because he and
Justin
Benson, I don't know if we ever find out what the characters' names are. I mean, they mention them, but it's not repeated enough that it sticks in your mind. The Benson's character is married to this gorgeous woman. He has an 18-year-old daughter. He has another kid on the way. And all he does is drink and complain about how horrible and miserable his life is.
Yeah. Even
though, to all appearances, he's got a happy marriage and everything. Whereas the Anthony Mackie character is, he's on the exterior, he's like more upbeat, but inside, he's really sad because he has never been married. He doesn't have a steady girlfriend. He doesn't have any steady relationships in his life. Really, it seems like his only friend is the Benson character. And he spends his days and nights, every day he comes to work hungover, and he's always drinking and taking recreational drugs and having one-night stands with people. And he really does have a miserable life, but he tries to put a happy face on it.
And his character really follows the hero's journey. So you get this first part where his life sucks.
Yeah.
And then
he gets cancer.
Then he finds out he gets cancer. But as he finds out he gets cancer, it's in his brain. It's brain cancer. He finds out that his pituitary gland... Anyway, he finds out that his is not like an adult. As you get older, you get calcifications in that part of your brain. And his is more like a 14-year-old. And this is key information because this drug called Synchronic, if you're an adult, you can kind of go into time, but you're always anchored to the present and you come right back. When you're young, you physically go into the other time, and if you move, you can't come back. And so Anthony Mackie's character finds himself experimenting with the drug and discovers all the rules.
Yeah, because before he became a paramedic, he wanted to be a physicist. And so he reads physics textbooks for fun. And so he devises a series of experiments that he does using his own home video camera, where he tries taking the time travel drug. And he discovers that if he takes it while he's sitting on the couch, he goes back to when Louisiana was a bayou during explorations by the Spanish, the conquistadors. If he stands 2 feet away from the couch and takes it, he goes back to the Ice Age.
Yeah.
So where you are in physical space determines where you go in time.
Right.
And then this is the real plot of the story is that Benson's daughter, his college-age daughter, has been partying, and she took this drug, and now she's gone. Nobody can find her, and so, of course, Benson's pulling his hair out, can't figure out what happened to his daughter. His wife is not talking to him and is going to leave him because she thinks he's not doing anything to find the daughter. Nobody has a clue as to where she could be. So Anthony Mackie figures out, well, she must have taken this drug. So he experiments with it, and then is going to try to go back in time and find his friend's daughter.
Right.
Because he feels like, I'm dying of cancer anyway, but this is something I can do to give my life meaning. And, maybe if I bring my friend's daughter back, because Benson now, has had a bucket of ice water in the face. That he was always griping about how miserable his married life was. Well, now his daughter's gone and his wife is leaving him. Now he realizes just how good he had it.
Right.
If he can get his daughter back.
And one of the more poignant, there were 2 moments for me that were really poignant and like really moved me. The first one is he experiments, he wanted to see what he could take back into time and then bring back to the present. So he's had a dog. He decides to take his dog. And they end up in like the house of some white supremacists in the time of the Ku Klux Klan when black people were still pretty much just out of slavery. And that causes problems. So he and the dog have to move, and then they miss their 7 minutes, because apparently it's 7 minutes, and then you go back. But that's when he just finds out that you have to be in the same location.
Yeah.
So he has to break back into the house, and the dog gets away from him, and he leaves him back in time. It was very sad.
Well, okay.
It was very sad for me. But the most poignant moment is at the moment at the end of... And I'm not going to tell you all of it, but this is the moment where Mackie's character becomes a true hero and makes a sacrifice that is sad on one hand, but also makes the happy ending eventually possible.
Yeah.
And so his hero's journey, his call to adventure, is part when he gets cancer and part when he starts experimenting with a Synchronic. And he has these, some of the things when he goes back in time are quite dangerous. He could have died. There were some very on-edge things. The only thing I didn't really like about this film is that it seemed like forever to get to the good stuff.
Wow, okay.
Your thoughts?
This is where our perspective differs a little bit. I will say that the film is very, very confusing at the beginning. Because you're seeing the effect of the Synchronic drug on all these various people, but you don't know that it's the drug that's causing it yet. You don't know that they're traveling through time. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, for certainly the first third, maybe the first half of the movie. Really, it's about halfway through the movie where Anthony Mackie meets the guy who created the drug, who explains it all to him, what's going on. Up to that point, you have all these mysterious deaths and all these mysterious flashbacks to what the people are experiencing, but you don't know if it's a hallucination or if the drug is making them deranged or what's going on. But I kind of liked that. Yes, I was puzzled and baffled through it all, and it does seem very slow at first, but it's very moody and atmospheric. It reminded me a lot, not in plot, but in sort of the tone and the feel of the movie, it reminded me a lot of the film Annihilation.
Oh, yes.
Which is another one where you don't know what's going on for most of the movie. And in that one, you kind of never really do find everything out. Whereas in this one, you do finally get an explanation. But it's interesting. Yes, you do want... It's satisfying in the sense that you do want a resolution and you want to find out what's going on, and you do get that.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of really good, strong character interaction between Anthony Mackie and Benson's character.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed the beginning where it's very, very mysterious and you don't know what's happening. And I mean, we've given away the bulk of the plot now. So if you watch this review and then watch the movie, you'll know going in what's going on. And I don't know, maybe that makes it better, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's more interesting when you don't know what's happening. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's especially great to get to see Anthony Mackie really flex his acting muscles. It's an intriguing idea in terms of science fiction. It's got that fun, mysterious beginning, and then you've got the solid character stuff at the end. And one other thing I'll say, without giving away the ending, the tone of the movie is such that you're watching it and there is genuine suspense, because it is by no means assured that you're going to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
So that makes it really, you really get involved in it, as opposed to many movies where it's like, well, okay, yeah, the hero's in danger, but he'll solve everything.
Right.
In this one, you're not sure he will.
Yeah.
So.
And there's also a nice completion to the film, because the creator of the drug buys up all the drugs that he can. He obviously doesn't get Anthony Mackie's supply. And then he kills himself. So the drug will not move forward. And I liked that, because this film works all by itself. It doesn't need a sequel.
Yes. Any sequel would be a huge disappointment.
Yeah. So, how many planets, sweetie?
3, I think. Yeah. I'd say 3.
3 or 4.
It's above average. Oh, I wouldn't say 4, but
okay.
It's definitely an above average film.
Yeah. I highly recommend it.
It's also, we should note, very dark, not just atmospherically, but like lighting wise.
Yeah.
It's shot in this kind of noirish sort of method where every scene, I mean, I'm not sure, there's 1 or 2 scenes where everything is brightly lit.
Maybe.
I guess when he and when Mackie and Benson and his family are on the picnic.
Yeah.
That's brightly lit. But other than that, most of it's in shadows and in dark alleys and in streets and at nighttime, because they work the night shift.
Right, they work the night shift. Plus, there's the whole, it's atmospheric, and it's kind of a reflection of what's going on. I mean, of course the picnic's well lit. It's families, they're having a good time.
Right, sure, and it's the daytime.
Yeah, and it's the daytime, but the rest of the time he's upset, he's thinking about dying of cancer, and there's all this dark stuff happening in his life, and the lighting of the film
in both of their lives.
In both of their lives, yeah.
And then the other thing I would just mention is that if this were coming out in theaters, it would definitely have an R rating, because there's a lot of profanity in it. A little bit of gruesome content, like when you see how some of these people died. But mostly this, I mean, it's probably realistic.
Yeah.
But Mackie and Benson are, using the F word in every sentence, which
yeah, there's a lot of F-bombs, which I could have done without. Isn't
necessary, but it makes it realistic, I guess. It's character stuff. So
now, fine. According to the people who sent me the screener, it will be in theaters and drive-ins on October 23rd. So you might be able to see it on the big screen.
It's a good Halloween movie. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I love films that play with time.
Yeah.
So definitely 3 planets, maybe more. I don't know, but I would recommend seeing it if you don't mind the darkness and the F-bomb.
Okay.
All right. That's it for. Whoop.
See you next time.
See you next time. Ciao for now.
Pineal gland.
No, Pituitary.
It was the pineal gland, because that's the one that opens you to like to other dimensions.
Well, the
and stuff.
pituitary is right in your brain.
Oh, okay.
It's pituitary gland. I know little biology.
That's good.